SMS text blasting has taken real estate wholesaling by storm. Companies like Batch Leads, Lead Sherpa, Launch Control have taken over the industry. And tens of thousands of real estate wholesalers have jumped on the SMS texting bandwagon. What happened when tens of thousands of real estate wholesalers start texting the same motivated sellers? The phone carriers started flagging, and it got worse and worse and worse until AT&T decided they're going to just regulate wholesaling texting like crazy. Verizon came in after. Eventually, what happened basically last month in companies like Lead Sherpa, you have to put specific opt-out language with your texting. This has caused some texting platforms to literally drop their response rates and ROI rates by over 20%. So this begs the question, is SMS texting dead, or are we just approaching it the wrong way? I'm going to share with you in this video exactly how SMS texting has got to this point, why most real estate wholesalers are going to quit SMS texting, and why it's quote-unquote dead to them, and why you're actually approaching it wrong, and how you can actually change up the way that you do your SMS texting to actually get as many deals or even more than before. So stay tuned. Whoa. Before we go any further, guys, you need to smash that like button and subscribe to help the YouTube algorithm so we can help more real estate wholesalers make money. Now let's talk about it. SMS text blasting has been a godsend for so many real estate wholesalers in 2020. Cold calling is just so expensive to hire someone. Cold calling really since 2019 has been really rough for real estate wholesalers. Again, it's a really good way to find actual leads, but with the way these carriers have been doing is they're starting to flag cold callers and destroying the ROI they're getting. A lot of spam calls, scam likely has been going on people's phones, and it's really plummeted a lot of the ROI people are getting from cold calling. All these wholesalers have tens of thousands of just skip trace phone numbers. They spent thousands of dollars just sitting on a thumb drive somewhere. And that data is so valuable. So a lot of real estate wholesalers learned about places like Batch Leads and Lead Sherpa, and they decided they're just going to start texting. Everyone figured out pretty quickly, I figured this one out in 2018 pretty fast, that SMS blasting, if you started in the beginning, you made a lot of money. Like cold calling, the point is to get to motivated sellers as fast as possible without spending a fortune. So cold calling, you can get in front of thousands of sellers per day just having people cold call a script. Well, what if you do the same thing, except talk 1,000 sellers a day? You can talk to 10,000 sellers a day with just a click of a button without any work, and you can do it all yourself. This has caused a mass influx of people starting in SMS text blasting. And just like any marketing channel, if there's a lot of people doing it, just like bandit signs, now if there's only 2 people doing bandit signs in a city, you could both probably make a pretty good living. If you have 100 people putting bandit signs in the same street, it's just going to get killed. When all these people just started texting, things got a little hairy. Sellers started becoming very angry, and eventually the carriers, what they did with cold calling was they figured out, hey, this certain phone number is literally calling thousands of people per day. That's not even physically possible. We got to flag these phone numbers. So they started doing that, and they started doing that with texting. Luckily, this is a cat and mouse game. The texting companies started playing games to skirt around these rules. That's what basically text blasting is. It's a game of cat and mouse with the phone carriers because they don't want us texting and spamming people. And then you got us wholesalers trying to get in front of as many people as possible. It's a game of cat and mouse. So in the beginning, it was, carriers started like, hey, if you're sending 10,000 texts a day, that's a spam, and we're not even going to deliver it. So the SMS text blasting companies started saying, hey, we'll do 30 numbers, and you only do 200 per day, and the carriers didn't get it. So it started doing very well, and then the carriers started going up and up and up, and they started figuring out that people were using certain keywords in every single text that they sent out to sellers. A lot of people were just using the words property, sell, cash offer, and they figured out that legitimate people aren't just texting cash offer tens of thousands of times per phone number. So they started flagging certain terms. So right here is the actual keywords of all the keyword terms right now that is just new, that if you text these keywords, then boom, you're gonna get flagged, and most likely your deliverability rate won't go through on these texts. And mostly the most progressive phone carriers that are just really flagging all these texts that you're sending is AT&T and Verizon. They are causing the biggest headaches for us real estate wholesalers and SMS texters. So we now know how we kind of got to this point, is the cat's out of the bag. The ROI on texting is really good, and now everyone's starting to text. So is there any more issues right now? Unfortunately, yes. People like me are consistently making tens of thousands of dollars per month just SMS blasting, not even my direct mail, just SMS blasting. I keep sending thousands of texts per day. Unfortunately, I am part of the problem. I'm addicted to texting. The more I text, the more money I make. Unfortunately, that's the way that a lot of wholesalers go. So we can't not cut that marketing channel out. We got to keep going until the ROI is not really there. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of people have this predicament. Things got so bad for SMS text blasting. One of the biggest texting companies, Lead Sherpa, again, I'm not talking bad about them or just calling them out, but this is just a physical example because I've used all these texting platforms before. Things got so bad that AT&T, and they said every single phone number that your platform is sending out, you're just not going to go to any of my AT&T customers and clients. And for basically, I would say for an entire month, every AT&T phone number literally just did not send through. That's almost 10 to 15%. That's almost 10 to 20% in a certain markets that literally couldn't get a hold of. Yes, you could have cold called those phone numbers, but they might have not answered, but almost 20% of all motivated sellers you couldn't get a hold of. This caused complete panic everywhere. If you look on the Lead Sherpa groups, if you looked at other SMS platform groups, people were freaking out. Is texting gone? Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? It was complete pandemonium. Turns out that Lead Sherpa actually talked to AT&T and they made a little handshake deal because AT&T does make money when you're texting. And they basically made a deal saying, hey, Lead Sherpa, hey, wholesalers, I'll allow you to text my AT&T phone numbers here, but you have to put 2 specific key things in my texts. Number 1, you have to specify who you are and what your company name is. And at the end of every single text you use in AT&T, you have to put this opt-out language. Now, this opt-out language basically is a quote, to opt out, please reply, quote unquote, all caps, stop. Basically what you get when you have a politician text or a big company. So if no, please reply stop to take off the list, and you go instantly off the list. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people that would put stop, they're not interested in selling their property for cash right now, but probably in a month or two, a situation is going to happen where they need to sell cash. And they hit stop 6 months ago, and you can't even deal with that situation anymore. That caused a huge issue. Now, a lot of SMS people are going to tell you, hey, if they replied stop and they want to be off the list, then they'll never be motivated again. I've had so many SMS deals that I've made $4,000 and $20,000 plus, where someone said, F off, get off my list, I'm not interested. And I texted them 8 months ago, and then 8 months later, after coronavirus, the rental property's not cash flowing anymore. They stopped paying, and they said, hey, Zach, you know what, I wasn't interested before, but I always get these texts, I always ignore them, I always say, no, 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 get away from me. But honestly, I'm in a situation where I just gotta get rid of this property. I don't wanna list it. I don't want people going through my house or going through my rental properties. I don't wanna risk my property being put on the market for over 6 months and maybe the prices keep going down. Let me just sell it right now at the market rate and get it done really quick. This has happened so many times for me in SMS blasting, so this opt-out language has caused a huge problem. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better. Verizon Wireless has really started to put the hammer on Lead Sherpa also and other texting platforms, and they're starting to filter out more and more, putting deliverability rates down and down and down. Deliverability rates are going from 95, 90% all the way to 80, 70, and even 60%. And you might think it's all doom and gloom, but no, it's not. So yes, those are the challenges we're being put as real estate wholesalers and real estate investors in general with SMS texting. So you either have 2 choices right now. You can decide to yourself, hey, you know what? I know that SMS blasting in the next year or 2, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and I'm just going to give up and go to maybe doing Facebook ads for my marketing. Maybe I'm just going to go back into cold calling. I'm going to do band signs, get more into direct mail. I'm getting out of that. And there's a lot of people leaving right now, SMS text. Or you can decide, hey, this is still a very good marketing channel. I don't know if I have a year or 2 before, you know, every single carrier out there is just bans these companies. But I know I'm making really good ROI with it. I know people around me in my market are making really good ROI on it. And if I kind of keep the course, get really creative, I could still make money where most wholesalers can't. So you have those 2 decisions. Do you want to completely learn another marketing channel and risk your money on something that's not proven yet in your market or you've done before? Or do you want to go back and do something that you know is proven, and if you get creative, you can still keep going? You know, the future might be bright. So if you make the decision just to go another marketing channel, I have a million videos on how to do it: cold calling, direct mail, RVMs, all that. You can do all those channels. But if you want to stick the SMS game and you know how cheap it is, it's still hands down for me, besides door knocking and referrals, which literally I pay 0 money for my marketing, they are the cheapest leads, the cheapest cost to appointments, cost per deal. Like literally the ROI is the cheapest for SMS marketing versus me literally sitting back and knocking on doors all day. And my time's way more valuable than that. So if you choose to just keep going with the SMS, you're gonna have to do these specific things. So get your notepad out, get writing. We need to get this done. Like I've said before, here are all the keywords that basically all these carriers, T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, Metro PCS, they're all flagging this. If you have it in there, your deliverability rate, which again is the percentage of text that you send to somebody that doesn't get flagged or filtered out. Now, mostly it's about 95%, but for me, it's around 97, 98%, but I'll tell you exactly how I'm doing that. But now for a lot of people just putting those terms in there, they're getting 60, 70% deliverabilities, and it just looks very spammy. Here are the tips I can give you to push it back into 98, 97%, destroying the rest of your competition. Now, between you and me, this is a secret that not a lot of people know. This is gonna be so stupidly simple when you figure it out. Ready for it? This is how to make your SMS blasting better than your competition, to get those deliverability rates as high as possible, to get the best ROI possible in today's market this year, in 2020 and 2021. Ready for it? Be a human. Don't be a dang salesman or robot. That's basically it. When you're texting these sellers, don't act like you're this big hedge fund salesman. Act like you're a legitimate person. Like, hey, I'm a human being. I'm looking to buy a property. That is it. Simple as that. I want to buy a house as cash, and I'm on the phone. Talk about what you do. Looking to buy some properties. Again, I have a lot of text blasting scripts that can actually help you out. Again, if you go to Flip with Rick, www.flipwithrick.com/texting. I mean, it's all going to be there. So all my plugs, I guess, are going to be there. I'll give you some scripts to help you out. We're going to make some more updated scripts in there about the tough times that we're going through. You won't be going through these times without me helping you, guiding you along the way. But guys, just be a human. When you're doing those outbound scripts, you get a text back, then go, boom, you can do whatever you want. So specifically, I want to emphasize this as much as possible. When you're texting, especially in 2020 and 2021, in the next coming years, when you send out a text, that initial text is the one that's going to get filtered or called as spam. Other ones, you can send a text and saying, hey, are you the deed holder of 123 Main Street? And that doesn't have any of those keywords in it. And someone says, yes, I am. Then after they give you that text, then AT&T, T-Mobile, they all say, wow, this person actually replied to this text, which means that's probably not a spam phone number. So I could say whatever word I want. I could say all the keywords in one sentence and it doesn't get through. As long as I send that initial text and I get a reply back, I can send anything I want. So the key here is be a human. Ask them a question so they give you a reply back. And when they give you a reply back, tell them who you are. Hey, my name's Zach and I'm looking to buy some properties around the area for cash. Would you be interested in a cash offer on your house? Say whatever you want, but make sure that initial text, please, I'm gonna say this a million times, that initial text you send out, please don't have the keywords, be a human and try to get a response. It's up to you to be creative, because if I give you text blasting scripts, which I do, if you use the same exact ones, those are the ones that I'm sending thousands of, you might get flagged. Use a creative, use your own texting scripts that you can, use synonyms with me and go from there. But again, if you're creative and you're using a text blasting service and you're still not getting the results you want, you might be using the wrong service. So services like Lead Sherpa, you get unlimited texting, but the caveat on that is your deliverability rates go down a lot. Why is this? It's because services like Batch Leads and Launch Control, they do something that helps your deliverability rate, which helps your text go through to the seller so you get more responses, so you can talk to more people about cash offers on the property. They go through because your deliverability rate is extremely high. Launch Control, Batch Leads have given me the best. Again, the difference between the two, I'll do a million videos on it, but the difference between those two is Launch Control is a little more expensive. It's really for someone who's spending at least $2,000 plus per month in their SMS blasting budget. That's what I recommend if you have $2,000 to $3,000 plus, you're marketing for SMS only and you're doing a good amount of deals. I say Launch Control is probably the best one for you. Now, if you're under $2,000 per month in ad spend for SMS, including skip tracing, including everything, I recommend Batch Leads 100% because you pay per text, but doing 500 texts a day, you'll still get deals and you can still scale up. So if you want to do that, and you actually want to get some free text, just go to batchleads.io/that. The reason why I like these two services, especially in the times that we're in right now, is because they use what we call synonyms and spinner tokens. So for example, when you literally do, this is a text for example. Boom, so I got my computer out. Let me show you really quick some examples of texting spinner tokens and why they do so well. I'm gonna look at some of my actual scripts that I use so it can help you out. So right here, there is an actual example here. So here's what an average service will tell you. That's what the average wholesaler, this is what they're going to send out. They're going to send something out with synonyms. So they're not going to use those names and words that get you flagged, but they're only sending one. So let me show you for example. So this text right here, hey John, this is Zach. I'm trying to find the deed holder of 123 Main Street. Could that be you? That's a really good text because it tries to invoke a response. It doesn't say homeowner or property owner. It says deed holder. This is a little trick I've been using. 123 Main Street, could that be you? If you use a regular service, you're gonna get screwed because you're gonna send that text out 100 times. AT&T and Verizon are gonna say, wow, Zach just sent 100 texts of basically the same thing. The only thing that changed is John and then the property address. This is definitely spam. We got to check this out. And your deliverability rate goes down, you talk to less leads, and you get killed. That's what your competition's basically doing. That's what most of them are doing. But services like batch leads and launch control let you do this. So let's jazz it up and let me show you exactly how it works. So boom. So this is the new texting one that I actually use. So we just changed it with a spinner token here. Let me explain it. Into literally one actual text. I turned that into 48 different possibilities. So literally one text turned into 48 texts. It's amazing. And now AT&T can't figure it out because every single text is basically unique and the same. So a spinner token basically is you can change every single wording in here for one text. So let's say text one, I'm gonna say, hey John, this is Zach, and I'm trying to find the deed holder of 123 Main Street. Could that be you? Text two would be, hi John, this is, and the second would be hello, howdy, and then maybe you change it to a hello, my name is, with the and symbol and a can. There's so many possibilities here that there's over 48. And if I add another one, I can just multiply even more and more and more. This possibility of 48 turns into a crazy ratio compared to the other ones. So if I did that one just general text and I sent 100 of those out, literally the math comes out to me sending 2. So for every 100 that you send out, it's equal to me showing 2 to the carriers. So they're gonna see hundreds here, they're gonna see 100 here, and they're gonna see 2. I'm not gonna get flagged because I have so many spinner tokens and possibilities on my text. Each one is basically the same. You can't get the same combination without doing 48. If I added something else in the beginning, like to a hi there, the possibilities from 48, just adding that hi there turned it from 48 possibilities all the way to 60. You just multiply more and more spinner token keywords that you use. So literally, I could send 60 out before it even becomes the same one. So if I make 10 of these, for example, it's 600. I can go an entire day doing 500 without even doing the same text once, where these people on the other end are doing hundreds at the same exact time. So it's your decision really at the end of everything. Is SMS blasting dead for real estate wholesaling? You can either choose one route and say, yeah, it's dead, the carriers are catching on, you know, they're playing games, they're starting to flag things, I'm just gonna give up and try to do another route. Or you can make the decision yourself and say this, you know what, I know SMS blasting is starting to get picked up by carriers. It's definitely a cat and mouse game. I have to skirt around it, but the ROI is still there, and the ROI is so good now. I know all these people are leaving. If I keep it up, use synonyms, use really good text blasting services out there, I can still do it and get a good ROI and keep hammering it out. You need to make the decision yourself. In my opinion, SMS blasting is not dead. A lot of people are going to say it, but truly it is not. If you keep going with the times and always innovate and become creative, the text source leads are so cheap, it's worth it to be innovating and being creative than just to quit altogether. There's only 2 marketing channels that are cheaper leads, and that's door knocking and referrals. You can't not do SMS text blasting today. So make the decision yourself, keep SMS or just say it's dead and quit. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to help the YouTube algorithm. Again, if you need help with your 500 free texts, just go to batchleads.io/Zach. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.